Good morning, everybody. David Atkins, target individual here. Today, I'm talking about remote neural monitoring, and you know, um, I just want to say, in my belief, people wanted me to stop talking about God on my show. I can't do that. My belief. I don't judge nobody on their beliefs, and I'm not better than nobody who believes differently than me. But my belief is, Jesus said, anybody who denies me in front of man, I'll deny him before my Father which is in heaven. So I just believe in speaking the word and putting a positive message out there for the people who do believe. All right, let's get into this video. Neuronal activity in the brain creates a shifting electrical pattern that has a shifting magnetic flux. This magnetic flux put out a constant 30 to 50 hertz megawatts. Sorry about that. I got to turn this phone down. I'm talking about remote neural monitoring here. 5 milliwatt electromagnetic wave contained in electromagnetic emission from the brain spikes or pattern called evoked potentials. Every thought, reaction, motor command, auditory event, and visual image in the brain has a corresponding evoked potential or set of evoked potentials. The EMF emission from the brain can be decoded into current thoughts and images and sounds in the subject's brains. NSA SIGINT uses EMF transmitted brain stimulation as a communication system to transmit information as well as nervous system messages to intelligent agents, also to transmit to the brains of covert subjects on a non-perceptible level. EMF brain stimulation works by sending completely coded pulsed electromagnetic signal to trigger evoked potentials, events in the brains, thereby forming sound and visual images in the brain's neural circuits. EMF brain stimulation can also change a person's brain states and affect motor control. Two-way electronic brain link is done by remotely monitoring neural audio-visual information while transmitting sound to the auditory cortex, bypassing the ears and transmitting faint images to the visual cortex. The images appear as floating 2D screens in the brain. Two-way electronic brain link has become the ultimate communication system for CIA, NSA personnel. Remote neural monitoring, remotely monitoring bioelectric information in the human brain has become the ultimate surveillance system. It's used by a limited number of agents in the U.S. intelligence community. That's why when you think of something, there'll be an ad for it. You can just think of something. You ain't got to say nothing. You can just think of something. So I'm thinking of the other day. We were thinking of exercises, and it sent this weight trainer to send a message to us on the thing, and it had a wolf in, and it's just crazy stuff. And it was two pictures of a weight trainer. This message dude had two videos of lifting weights and stuff. And then it had a wolf at the end of the video coming on the screen. A study of a study of delivery devices and methods. Okay. Widespread belief among targets that chips are a cause of target infection has kept many targets from exploring other possible means. Although microchips often transmit as well received, they cannot act independently and require some other type of device which to act in concert. Thus, the study does not include microchips as an attack device, but some are. Some are convinced that cell phones, Wi-Fi, television, other electric are to blame for the electronic target effects. That idea can probably be refuted, for many heavily targeted individuals do not possess those devices. Are those gadgets involved in all targeting? Well, perhaps, but they probably do not cause the effects. Now, I disagree with that. Now, I believe that Wi-Fi is weaponized, and a lot of stuff can be weaponized nowadays. But this is here we go. Any study of the device with the capability of delivering and carrying out the many no-touch effects on a target must identify effects. The following is a list of effects gathered over time as a result of complaints from scores of targets. Naturally, not every target receives all those effects or the very same effects. One characteristic of target effects is that they follow many or other, perhaps most targets wherever they go, whether it's 35,000 feet in elevation in an airplane, on the water, inside buildings, or in forests far from cell phone towers and electrical grids. A researcher must keep in fact in mind whenever attempting to identify delivery systems and their methods. The wide array of effects occur on targets such suggests that no one single delivery device could perform all those effects. The inference is that various instruments work in consonance to a computer system and must probably be employed to achieve the long list of physical and neurological symptoms. A review of those effects should help us identify the most likely device that caused them and the methods used. Physical effects: sensations of pinpricks in the eyes, shoulders, face, feet, elbows, and other areas. Intense pressures on the bridge of the nose. Restless legs: a sensation in the small of the back extends into the extremities, causing restless leg syndrome. Sometimes when that happens, the legs will jerk involuntarily. Hunger pains in the stomach, even when the target should not be hungry. Man, I've experienced all these. Electrical like jolts. His entire body feel like the shock one get from touching a low electrical fence. Tremors or vibrations. These can affect the whole body, focused on specific parts of the body. They can range from very mild to violent. Zapping in on the head. This sounds much like sparks in a welder's torch or like children's sparklers used as fireworks on holidays. Drop dead lethargy. A heaviness in the chest that makes one always feel tired. Clicking in the ears. Severe cramping, mainly in the calves of the legs. Numbness in the limbs from the base of the spinal column to the toes. Unnatural coughing and sneezing. Extreme gastric problems leading to irritation of the stomach lining, infections in the esophagus and the duodenum, and stomach aches and pains, indigestion, nausea, dizziness, gas on the stomachs and intestines, lethargy, listlessness, much like chronic fatigue syndrome, constant tinnitus, inability to urinate or frequent urination, chronic constipation, sleep deprivation, simulated heart attacks, the sensation of crawling insects on the face and neck, intense twitching. Although normal on the hands and feet, this can occur on any place of the body. Twitching of the fingers, partial loss of sight, partial deafness, destabilization, hand-to-eye coordination, causing targets to strike their hands against objects, misstep, bump against objects, and misjudge their distance. Inability to open one eye or the other upon a morning waking. Twitching eyelids, throbbing in the head, aches and pains in various parts of the body, unnatural salivatation, conversely dry mouth, tingling vibration focused on areas of the face, apparently often causing basal cell cancer. Involuntary physical movements, flailing of the arms, heart flutters and irregular palpitations, extreme sensitivity to light, pressure on the bladder causing the victim wanting to urinate very often. And conversely, the attacker can prevent a target from urinating. Pressure and intense itching on the scalp, construction in the esophagus and hiatal hernia, electric buzz in the groin, on the hips, artificial heating of the body, acute pain on the hands and feet, numbness and rigidity of feet, including toes, unnatural plucking of lips, usually the upper lip. I get that. Sometimes I'll just click my lips and it's just nasal drip, tingling in the calves of the legs, pulsing of the calves and the legs. In the case of neurological effects, some of them may be considered effects and other methods. In some cases, whether physical or neurological may be debated. The true neurological effects can only logically be achieved through contact with the brain. The brain tampering capability is important in studying methods used with delivery systems. Hear and record one conversation with one who talks. They can record a person's voice and later simulate the same voice. See through the victim's eyes when the victim sees. View the interior of the target's body and zoom in on any part of the body or organ in the body, even in darkness. Induce dreams, stage scenarios, and engage in subliminal telepathic interrogations. Inject holographic pictures or images into a victim's thoughts. Implant false memories into victims. Cause the target financial problems. Ruin his credit, drive him to bankruptcy. Discredit the target by causing him to react in strange ways to the target, which in turn makes him appear insane or demented. Monitor and manipulate the target's emotions, called mood swings in the target. Read the victim's thoughts. Transmit voices in the brain ahead that only the victim can hear. Keeping in mind the long list of physical and neurological systems caused by the remote attacks it employs, let's take a look at some possible delivery systems used in targeting. There may still be other unknown devices or methods not covered in the following. Pulsed microwave. Like the computer, the use of microwave instruments largely evolved in the 1980s, the period most present-day and physical and neurological target seem to begin. It's little wonder that both the computer and microwave technology appear to be linked to targeting effects. And to the 2017 online article entitled "The Recent Advances in Effects of Microwave Radiation on Brains" states that microwaves are electromagnetic waves with frequencies ranging from 300 megahertz to 300 gigahertz. The use of microwaves in our daily lives and much of our electronic targeting involved in both at the same time frame in the 1980s, suggesting a relationship between the two developments. There's little doubt microwaves may possibly cause many of the target effects or at least contribute to them. Microwaves have especially been linked to harm to the central nervous system, primarily through their effect on the hippocampus, hypothalamus and synapses components of the brain. Learning and memory functions, sleep disorders, damaged cognitive abilities, all effects suffered by targets appear to be affected by microwave frequencies on those brain segments. Some of the sources that cause microwave effects are the following: FM radio, TVs, mobile phone stations, microwave links, cordless phones, Bluetooth devices, baby monitors, wireless local area networks, smart meters, surgical and physiotherapeutic devices, microwave ovens and radars, and more. As already mentioned, some targets who endure severe target effects do not have TV, mobile phones, Bluetooth tracking devices, smart meters, or none of that. Although many targets do use AM, FM radios, neither of them signals could probably explain the tracking capability of targeted effects wherever the targeted travels in places where FM radios are unavailable and unusable. So, you know, I've traveled all over 12 states in 6 months and on the go, and everywhere I go, it follows me. And because of the curvature of the Earth, the early line of sight radar could only detect objects that lay above the horizon. However, in the 50s and 60s, a new type of radio radar was developed that would detect targets beyond or over the horizon of thousands of miles. This can be done either by using short waves that reflect off the ionosphere or by using surface waves that use low frequencies and follow the curvature of the Earth. Due to continual changes in the ionosphere, the OTH uses the second transmitter to determine those movements and calibrate them. This must be done with computers, again pointing out the necessity of computers in the use of tracking devices and doubtfully in achieving targeting effects. Conventional radar systems can use a device called as a chirp transmitter to scan for radio frequencies. A type of short radio transmitter, that device makes a chirp when it detects high frequency. The reader may remember that one of the complaints to the diplomat stations in Cuba who experienced strange symptoms is that they heard crickets chirping. However, radar, regardless of the type, can only be utilized to detect objects. As far as we know, it possesses no capability to cause the many effects endured by targets. The ailments suffered by the diplomats could have come from the microwave effect element of the radar. Okay, let's see. Active denial system, another direct energy device called the active denial system, developed by Raytheon for U.S. military. It uses a gyrotron to generate and beam a radio microwave frequency at 95 gigahertz on a target and heats water and oil molecules onto the body to cause a painful but non-lethal burning sensation. All early models of the ADS show its large reflector mounted on a vehicle. Read between the lines, that device has seemingly been made much smaller and may even be portable or at least more mobile by this time. The range of ADS is about a half a mile. The cost of $5 million per unit makes it highly unlikely that ADS would be in widespread use by targeted attacks, unless those attackers were military personnel. Although non-lethal, there's evidence that prolonged exposure to ADS may cause cancer, ADS, active denial system, in some cases death. To date, there's little reason to believe that ADS can be utilized together with other devices that cause a long list of physical and neurological effects felt by targets. Although targets often complain of burning sensation, that sensation is prolonged and usually does not result in visible burns. I suspect targets' burning sensation is probably more caused by brain tampering, although my girlfriend does experience burns. The projected heat can cover a wide area for up to half a mile. Thus, the military sees ADS as a perimeter protection and the policing as a crowd control instrument. Through the wall surveillance technology, many targets believe that devices capable of detecting human body through the wall also produce some of their targeting effects. A prototype of the through the wall perfected structure during the Iraq War, known as radar scope. That device is handheld, detects motion, includes mirror breathing, and can be used at 50 feet or farther from a structure. The TWS would probably act as a tracking device. Although the small instrument can see through 12 inches of concrete and can detect various rooms in the building, there's no evidence that the same device can be used in numerous physical and targeting. The Cameo Xavier's Portal. Okay, let's see. Cameo Xavier is very costly and cannot see through metal walls. In addition to the instrument, let's go down here. Another direct energy was called the active denial system. Uses a gyrotron. Okay, let's see. I got backed up a little bit. Pulsed infrasound. Sound can nowadays be used as a formative weapon. All industrialized companies appear to be experimenting with a wide range of use. As a non-lethal weapon, sound is aimed primarily at the ears, although its effect is found in other parts of the body. There are various types of sounds, including infrasonic and ultrasonic. Both sounds produce energy, thus could be classified as direct energy weapon. Infrasound. Large generators known as wind turbines can be constructed that cause low-frequency sound called infrasound that occur at lower than 16 to 20 hertz per second. Those generators known as emitters, very low-frequency modulators. The type of sound is imperceptible to the human ear. It can be tuned down as low as 0.001 hertz and does not readily dissipate route. Strangely, infrasound clings to the ground and is not heard but instead felt. In an article by Ryan Littlefield entitled "The Psychoacoustic Effect of Infrasonic and Sonic and Ultrasonic Frequencies with Non-Lethal Military Warfare Techniques," and dated June 2016, the author lays out some possible effects of infrasound. These effects include vertigo, damage to internal organs and the central nervous system, especially elevating the heartbeat, disorientation, nausea, vomiting, continual defecation, spasms in the bowels, and visual problems. I've been experiencing a lot of that lately, all that stuff. Jerry Vassilos of Borderline Science, the sonic weapon of Vladimir Gure, and other names of other effects: drop dead, fatigue, coughing, choking, decreased dexterity, imbalanced, slurred speech, fear, severe intestinal pain, anxiety, apathy, hearing loss, confusion, disorientation, depression, burns, inability to concentrate, irregular breathing, sleepiness, as well as sleeplessness, alteration of moods and perceptions, influence on thoughts and emotions, and vibrations of the body. In December 1980, the article called "The New Mental Battlefield," John Alexander states that infrasound can be used to induce depression or irritability in a target population. Increased intensities can cause death. The effects are governed by frequency on power levels given off by the generators. An infrasound cannot be heard. Its presence must be detected by some device. Over the years, several types of infrasound detectors have been invented to find the unheard sounds. Countermeasures against infrasound have also been developed. One of them converts infrasound to higher pitches, and one other one transmits tones that nullify the infrasound. The advantages is the distance is no object for infrasound. Remote-controlled tanks equipped with infrasound and generators, perhaps drones with onboard generators, could effectively eliminate the enemy and surrounding for sound. Could be eliminate the enemy and their surroundings several miles. Ultrasound. Ultrasound is a high-frequency sound wave that can show inside the human body in real time. It picks up where infrasound leaves off, about 20 hertz in the very low frequency range. Unlike infrasound, ultrasound produces no radiation. Ultrasound allows views of every organ in human body. In addition to many effects of infrasound, ultrasound can also cause extreme heating and burning sensations. It can result in a tickling sensation in the mouth and nose area, an effect mentioned by many targets. Moreover, and importantly for targets, a 1997 article Federation of American Scientists called "Non-Lethal Weapons for Military Operations Other than War" states aimed at the head, the resonating skull bones have caused people to hear voices. Most of the ultrasonic weaponry has been made portable and can be transported, used by individuals. One particular such device was invented by American Technology Corporation called directed stick radiator. It is not portable but can transmit and receive voices and other sounds. One of the most interesting ultrasonic weapons developed by the American Technology Corporation is called the Long Range Acoustic Device, or LRAD. It shoots a focused beam to sound up to a kilometer. The device is lightweight and very portable. It has tracking features which is not described and is probably classified. That feature may function in conjunction with another yet unknown device. The beam protected by LRAD, which enters into the target's ear, conveys voices to the targets that only they can hear. Moreover, the device has the capability to employ and interpret several languages. American Technology states that LRAD is intended for behavior modification and psychological operations, both features of the neurological warfare program. The device used to employ ultrasound is sometimes known as vortex cannons, which are transportable and easily used by a single person. The vortex gun can also be used to shoot chemicals into the environments of targets over a long distance. Directional sound. Modulated ultrasound can be transduced in a tightly focused beam of light, much like a laser that can be aimed by the emitter to a target along the beam's path. The emitter can be adaptable and portable. Its beam can be projected over many meters to only a small particular location which the beam is aimed. Thus, it becomes directional sound. Over the last few years, several companies have developed various versions of directional sounds with basically the same characteristics. Audio Spotlight was the first brand name directional sound system. Directional sound operates in a line-of-sight flash, and thus the operator's directional sound must have a clear view of the target site. Anything between the source and the target will block the beam. Because of that, most systems are mounted in ceilings of buildings or an outdoor site above the targets. This might invite the notion that perhaps satellites and drones play a role in carrying out directional sounds. Satellites, drones, and other unidentified objects. The device discussed in the foregoing section are land-based. It's highly improbable that those or similar devices can also be adapted to be delivered from the air. Being able to do so would make those devices less likely to be detected, making them more defensible, and would probably also allow greater ground coverage for the effects of the devices. It's well known that satellites, drones, and other objects can be used as tracking devices. However, let us use logic. Tracking alone does no harm to a person. It simply locates him. In the case of targeting, simply tracking the victim would absolutely be useless unless the tracking device could somehow be combined or used in conjunction with a device that causes physical and neurological effects. Any projectile signal from a satellite would probably become too diffused over a distance to cause harm. Yet, what if there was a method that prevented any diffusion of the beam projected from the satellite? Perhaps some long-range laser that can penetrate barriers. Also, what would happen if attack mechanism could be piggybacked upon the radio frequencies and allow satellites to track objects? If computers and microphones can be used in connection with direction sounds, they can also may be able connecting with satellites or drones. And I do think satellites and drones are somewhat responsible for these attacks. Methods for performing electronic attacks. Whatever the delivery must be, it must be capable of being rigged up with probably several other devices, which in turn are probably connected with a computer. The computer ranks among the most deadly weapons of the remote electronic attackers. Without a computer, the attackers would not be able to perform the long list of effects on targets. In any study, a target and reach, the mystery remains to be solved is the method that allows targets to be singled out and tracked. We still do not know how the tracking device can focus and along onto a visual, even building or airplane, a ship, or a mountainside. To me, that strongly suggests that some object or substance in or on that object, unique characteristic, provides a tracing capability to fix upon the unfailing follow the target. I shall call that characteristic subject the locator. Nanochip, nanotechnology, graphene, stuff like that. DNA, facial recognition, signals from the target's central nervous system, especially the brain. Perhaps another highly classified means is currently unknown to the target. In this study, graded against a long list of possibility of targets, it appears that infrasound, ultrasound, and LRAD are likely the candidates for the attack mechanisms. Those systems may require other devices which they act in tandem or sequence. All the attack devices are doubtlessly involve the use of a computer, especially with targeted effects such as voices and mind reading. And I'm done there. And I hope y'all have a good one. I hope this video was okay. It's something I came up with off the cuff because I've been getting hit hard lately. Other than the interview the other night, like, man, I've just been very out of it. Dizziness, fatigue. Yesterday, the room was spinning for about 3 hours. Very heavy vertigo. And then I got about 5 chatterboxes in my ear at one time talking. So I've been having some rough times. Very fatigued. Fatigued, but at the same time, sleep deprived. So just please pray for us. Very heavy stuff going on here, but more videos. I got a interview tomorrow, so be looking for that too. And I'm gonna be coming out with some better videos later. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this study, and I just hope y'all keep y'all's heads up and have a good weekend as a target individual. The best weekend you can have. God bless all target individuals.